You are the questions you ask yourself. Good questions get good answers. Garbage questions get garbage answers. Garbage in, garbage out. If you want to change your reality, you need to start changing the questions you ask yourself. When you ask yourself questions like, why am I such a loser? Or why do bad things always happen to me? Or why do I always fuck everything up? You get answers like, because I'm worthless, or because I have bad luck, or because I'm a fuck up. These answers don't help you. They only make whatever problem you have worse. To solve your problems, you need to ask the right questions. Because when you ask the right questions, you get the right answers. And the right answer is the answer that makes your life feel better. Every question you ask yourself should have that outcome in mind. To get the right answer, the first question you need to ask is always, what's my problem? Because you can't solve your problem until you recognize what your problem is. Your problem could be with your health, your wealth, your relationships, or any number of things. Whatever it is, you need to figure out exactly what your pain point is at that particular moment. Once you figure out the problem, the next question invariably is, how do I solve this problem? And this is the most important question you can possibly ask yourself. I know it sounds incredibly simple, and it is, but it's also incredibly effective. With this question, I solved these problems among many others. Being skinny, working a job I hated, not getting laid, being depressed, having low energy, having joint pain, being broke, living in a miserable country, being shit in bed. When you ask yourself how to solve a problem, you get an answer. It might not always be the right answer, but it's always a step in the right direction. To get the right answer, you just have to keep at it. Try it again from different angles. Read everything, forums, blogs, books, whatever it takes until you find an answer that makes sense. Then once you get that answer, you hang on to it and you pursue it doggedly, tenaciously until that problem's solved. You pursue it like a pit bull possessed until you get what you want. And if you're in pain, you owe it to yourself to solve that problem. And if you can do that consistently, you'll make massive changes in every single area of your life. And those massive changes all start with the same question. How do I solve this problem? How do I get from A to B? What do I have to do this year, this month, this week to solve this thing? How do I break this down into manageable tasks and set up an action plan to make it happen? How do I add 10 pounds of muscle this year? How do I get a great girlfriend who's going to support me in my mission? How do I add $10,000 to my income? But asking questions doesn't just apply to your outer reality. It applies just as much to your inner world, whether it's doubt, depression, or desperation. In my article on why positivity is the only path, Z commented, I think the crucial thing here is execution. It is quite easy to understand all of the above, but retraining your mind to get out of doubt/depression is very difficult. And I understand where Z's coming from. I understand what it's like to feel like there isn't even a way out. I know because I've been there myself. And I know that right now you might be thinking, well, you don't understand, or it's too hard, or I just don't know if I can do it, or it works for you, Will, but not for me because I'm different than you. I know because I used to have the exact same answers. I had those answers until I changed my questions. When you start asking the right questions, you start getting the right answers. Because Z's right, execution is everything. And I'm gonna give you the secret to execute on an expert level. To execute effectively, you only need two things: the right tools and the right attitude. The right tools are the right questions. The right attitude is having faith that you can find the right answers. The right question, when you find yourself in that fog of depression, is, what do I have to do to be consistently happy? Or if consistent happiness is too daunting, start with, what do I have to do to at least be okay? Or even, what do I have to do to at least not be depressed? Or even smaller, what do I have to do to at least not be depressed today? What do I have to do to feel 15, 10, or even 5% better? Start as small as you have to. Just start asking the right questions and you'll start getting the right answers. Some great answers that work for me are caffeine, yoga, a small amount of carbs to even out my blood sugar, hitting the gym to pump up my endorphins and neurotransmitters, going for a ride on my motorcycle, taking ZMA and 5-HTP before I go to bed, having tantric sex, taking Phenibut in moderation, going for a swim, working on my mission, watching Family Guy, having dinner with friends, reprogramming negative thoughts, managing my expectations for the future. And that's just a small list of the things that I have available to me every day and that I do consistently. But in my experience, the number one thing for feeling better is changing your physical state. For me, 25 minutes of medium intensity cardio is by far the best non-drug mood lifter there is. But everyone's different. Once you start asking the question enough times, you'll find what works for you. And when you do, you'll be shocked at the changes that can happen within a year, a month, or even a week. And one day, you'll wake up and you'll find that you're a different man. And I'm not joking with you. You will feel better. You will learn how to control your mood. You will be able to accomplish the goals that you set out for yourself. And then you look back at who you used to be and you almost can't believe what you've become. I can tell you this, one of the absolute best fucking things in life is when you are able to surprise yourself. When you're able to surprise yourself in a positive way and you think, I can't believe I actually accomplished that, or I can't believe that my life is actually good now. And I promise you this, it all starts with changing your questions. Here's some other killer questions I use every day that might work for you. How do I find a way to win? What do I need to do to feel good right now? What's my next move? How do I get this thing done? What's the most productive thing I can be doing right now? If my questions don't work for you, that's okay. You just have to find the ones that do. Because by asking the right questions, you create space for the right answers. You open the door to a positive present and a positive future. Now, I'm not asking you to believe me. If you're struggling right now, this all might sound like just a bunch of words. All I'm asking you for is the benefit of the doubt. I'm just asking you to open the door just a little bit, just a crack. Just allow yourself the possibility that things can change. What if you could feel better? What would you have to do to get there? What if you could get in great shape? What would you have to do to make that happen? What if you could make 6 figures? How would you do that? By changing your questions, you change your focus. Instead of focusing on the problem, you focus on the solution. And when you pursue that solution, you change your reality. But don't take my word for it. Test it out for yourself and see what happens.